All right, everybody. Well, this is a pretty exciting day for me and my friend here, Kevin Gray, that is joining me. Welcome to the very first episode of Top Contractor School, the podcast, where we will be coming to you weekly to bring you different topics that will help propel your construction businesses forward. I am Brian Hess. I'm your co-host on this journey to building a better business. And I'm here with my co-pilot and great friend, president of ADC Paving in Louisville, Kentucky, Mr. Kevin Gray. So, Kevin, why don't you start us off here? We're going to do a little bit of intros for both of us, just so people that are listening here that may not know who we are get to know us a little. So why don't you start off and tell everybody a little bit about yourself, and I will go second.
Yeah, sure thing, man. I appreciate the platform and this opportunity first and foremost. I think just the excitement behind this and, the efforts we put into the works of this and creating this and talking through this has really been an awesome thing. Like Brian said, my name is Kevin Gray. I am president and owner. My wife and I are owners of ADC Paving here in Louisville, Kentucky. We are third-generation owners. Her grandfather actually started this business in 1959. Her aunt ran it from 1980 to 2011 when we took over ownership there in 2011. I actually came in 2009 and actually helped her aunt get through some tough times, got some sales generated for her, started, injecting myself into the business, learning the business a little bit, trying to gather as much information financially and out in the field as quickly as possible. And we have, since 2011 when we've purchased the company, and we're going on, 8-9 years now. And it's been a massive transformation from a pretty much predominantly residential, small paving and pavement maintenance company into a, mid-sized, large-scale commercial construction company. We do paving, concrete work, a little bit of site work. We do pavement maintenance, seal coating, striping. So it's been quite an evolution, transitioning from a residential to a commercial contractor. And, some of the growing pains and things we've gone through along the way have taught us a lot. We've learned a lot. And that's kind of the premise and some of the backstory to Top Contractor School and us creating this podcast was be able to hopefully shortcut some of those hard lessons that I've had to learn for everyone that joins our community. So that's a little bit about me, man.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So for you guys listening out there that don't know who I am, my name is Brian Hess. So I am the founder and president of Top Contractor School. Honored to have this guy with me, man. He's been an important part of the top contractor journey for me. And in addition to Top Contractor School, I'm also president of the Pavement Group, which is a multiple seven-figure national paving company. And we do business with, the largest brands across the country everywhere. So my journey in this industry actually started in a pretty interesting way. So I have a technology background. I was a director of sales in corporate America prior to coming to the construction industry. Got kind of thrusted into the construction world in a hurry, kind of like learning to swim by being thrown in the river. And, it took off in an instant, man. I went from, not knowing anything about construction whatsoever to being able to sell a significant amount of work in a short period of time while learning to run a pretty sizable company. So the first company that I worked for ended up being north of $40 million a year. And so, worked in that environment, ran, what was a pretty large organization there, and then went on my journey of finding my way to doing what we're doing now, which is, starting a business from scratch and building that into what will eventually be hopefully the most well-known national brand in the paving industry. And so, both Kevin and I take a lot of passion, obviously, in this industry. That's why we're doing this show in the first place. But we wanted to give you guys some background so that you don't think we're just a couple of guys sitting here spitting words at you that don't actually do what we're going to advise you to do, or bring the people on the show that are going to give you some advice on how to do things better, faster, and in any way we can bring you value, we're going to do that. So Kevin, why don't you start us off here, man, and just talk about kind of, where this podcast came from, where the idea came from, and explain kind of the mission, the vision, the values that we're trying to, adhere to here at Top Contractor School. Give us a little insight there.
Yeah, and I think some of that is all a spawn from what you just hit on, and that's, hopefully fast tracking some of these hard lessons that you and I have gone through, and others within our circle and in our community of people that have been down these roads and have had to do some of this alone, maybe some with some help, others without, but really learning those hard lessons. And I think when you talk about mission with why we want to do this podcast and why we're putting these programs together, is to create a community and a fraternity where everyone, where we can meet people where they are at on their journey, whether it be just starting a brand new business, whether they're an owner operator that's been doing it a few years, been doing it several years, or even people that own, operate, manage large scale companies, been doing it for their whole careers. I mean, we want to make this a landing place for anybody in the construction industry that can come and share ideas and listen to ideas and basically just get better. And I think the big, you're as passionate as I am about owning and operating our own businesses, and there's a lot of pride in that, and there's a lot of joy in that, and there's a lot of energy in that. But I think the thing that makes Brian and I unique is we share the similar trait that what gets us most excited probably at this phase of our life is being able to give back, to be able to help, to be able to share our experiences and our journeys and to help other people. I mean, that's, I get super excited when we talk about ADC Paving, and I absolutely love my business. I love our people. I love the culture we're creating. But when you and I and others within our group start talking about this Top Contractor School and being able to help people, that really drives, in my opinion, drives our mission. And, some of the values that we want to bring, we want to bring, get this to a group of people that have good ethics, good morals, and most importantly, are actually committed to making a change in their professional and probably more importantly, their personal lives too, because, not only are you going to be able to, hopefully help your business through getting involved with some of these podcasts and the other resources we're going to start providing, but I mean, just the impact and the magnitude that you as leaders of businesses and owners and people, you guys that employ people out there in the world, you can change the lives of your employees and their families, and being such a blue collar industry, that the impact that we could, hopefully give and change generations to come of people's children's, and then the lifestyle, hopefully, that they can live, and just flip the script on the norm of that, typical blue collar life, and really making something awesome, for these people and their employees and their workplaces. I mean, that's huge. And we want to be a weekly resource with this podcast, somewhere where you can check in, somewhere you can come to feel part of a community, come feel part of a fraternity. And that's not singling out any females either. We use the word fraternity a lot, but it's more, just community. We want this to be a landing place, a safe place, somewhere where you can go say, hey, I'm not crazy. Other people are going through this. Other people's stories are similar to mine. And this is hard, but we're going to get through it, and give some people some guidance getting through some tough times. I mean, I've been through them in my 10-year career, and it's great when you get around a community of people that you realize are just as normal and as crazy and going through some of the same things that you are, that you've got a place to check in, get some reassurance, get some confidence, and keep the thing going, man. So,
yeah, I think, if I go back to, why I originally started Top Contractor School in the first place, and I'll get into that in a second, but it was obviously founded as a training platform, right? Giving people the training advice, the tactical sales knowledge, the leadership knowledge that I've gained over 20 years of doing this. That was my initial intention of creating this company, right? Was to give people what I viewed as a lack of resources in our industry. But what I really want to spend a minute talking about from my standpoint is the piece of this puzzle that has really evolved as a result of that I completely underestimated from the beginning. And that is the community that you talked about. You probably used that word 5 or 6 times in what you just said. And the reason that you use it is because I believe, I don't want to speak on your behalf, but I believe because of how important that community has become to us, not just to the people that are in it, but, just what that community, the Top Contractor School community has meant to us, right? The guys that have come through this training that have really gelled together and started, chat threads on Instagram, going over to the Top Contractors community on Facebook. It has really become, and you describe it well, as a fraternity. Again, we don't, we welcome everybody, but it's a community of tight-knit people that, some of which are in the same markets that all really want to help each other. And so, while the mission of Top Contractor School in the beginning of this was to bring knowledge and resources and tactical advice to companies that needed it all across the country. And, what I saw when I founded this company was that there was such a gap from where I came from in corporate America to what we have, at our disposal here in the construction industry. There's just a lack of resources and a lack of structure. And so, a lot of times these small businesses that we start and we get moving, they either grow incredibly fast and they get a little out of control from that rapid growth. And we've got a lot of people that we end up bringing on to kind of counteract that rapid growth. And it ends up, we end up with a lot of untrained people. And then just in general, lack of experience. A lot of guys in our industry, didn't have previous sales training or sales knowledge or leadership training. They're just learning as they go. And so, what we're trying to do here is to bring some structure and some resources to, I believe, a lot of companies out there that really want that, right? They're really looking for that kind of thing. And so that's really our mission and why Top Contractor School was founded in the first place, and also why we're bringing you this podcast, right? It's a weekly resource where Kevin and I are going to be bringing different topics, different guests throughout the industry that can bring and add value to you guys, that can teach you some things while you're out there running sales calls, while you're out there on a job, walking around. You can have this playing in your ears, and your people can have this playing in their ears to hopefully gain the knowledge that's going to allow us to be a part of taking your business to the next level. And that's really our mission. Kevin mentioned it earlier, but the passion that we have for helping people is why we do this. We don't come on here for 30 minutes, an hour a week, just to get ourselves out there or for any benefit to us. There's a passion. This is a passion project for us, and we want to be able to give back to you guys. So, with that said, please be open and communicate with us. You can send suggestions via email at info@topcontractorschool.com. You can hop over to Facebook and join the Top Contractor School community and communicate with us that way. But please let us know, if there's a topic that you guys want us to cover. We're going to try to get to as many of them as we can. And we want to bring to you on this show the value that you guys absolutely want to hear. So, with that said, it's, it is a pleasure, man, to have you do this show with me. I couldn't be happier, man. Kevin and I met. This is a great online story. We kind of found each other on Instagram and started communicating, and then connected at the National Pavement Expo. I started doing some training for one of Kevin's guys. Next thing you know, we're completing a job together, and the rest is history, man. We've been really close friends here for, I don't know what, year and change, year and a half.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yep. Almost 2. Yeah.
And,
for sure.
Man, it has changed my life to have Kevin in my life. And so I'm excited to be able to bring him to you guys. And I'm sure he feels the same about his excitement of getting this information out there.
No, I do. And it's this is one of the most exciting things going on in my life right now is getting this ball rolling. And, you know, we did our first round of operations mentorship training over the winter. And it's so good to see the guys that really, you know, kind of took some of the information they got in those classes, injected it into their own businesses. And there's several people in the course that you and I taught that are having much better seasons than we even are right now. And it's awesome. Like it makes me so happy to see these guys succeed and tell us their stories and send us pictures. They're smiling and things are going well. And I'm not sugarcoating that everything is going to be all unicorns and rainbows, but to really see these guys succeed is awesome. And I think that's one thing that we want. We don't want to just tell you this. We want to show you this. And we hope that as you join our communities and get involved, that you will see our passion, that this isn't a smoke and mirrors gig. Like, you know, we don't want to just talk to you about it and show you the resources and tell you stories. You know, I think a lot of people out there will give you good information, but then they'll kind of just leave you at the base of the mountain. And it's like, we want to hold your hand all the way up that thing. We want to go there with you. We want to help get you to the peak. So we hope that it's pretty obvious that when you tune into these and you start seeing the resources and the things we're going to be providing you guys, that it's legit, it's true, and it's real. And it brings us so much, you know, joy and energy and happiness to be able to bring this to you guys.
Yeah. And I think too, man, it's cool. You know, I wish, if I go back in my career, I wish that I had somebody that could provide me this type of advice that's actually doing it, right? Like, we're not giving you this advice as concepts. None of the stuff that we teach is conceptual. It's not out of a book. It is from real life experiences and other mentors that we've had, and passing that information along to you guys. So, you know, with that said, again, you know, Kevin and I are super excited about this. So we'll be sharing a lot of the things that we're recording as we're doing it on social media, so that you guys know what episodes will be coming up and what the content of those episodes will be looking like. So hopefully you're going to see us everywhere and anywhere promoting this podcast, and we would appreciate it if you guys would also, starting today, start sharing this podcast, tagging some friends, you know, letting them know that this is out there as a resource. Whether you're in the construction industry or outside the construction industry, you're going to get some value out of this podcast. But, you know, certainly for the guys that are in our industry, make sure that you share it out to as many people as you possibly can, so that we can grow this community and grow this audience and make an impact throughout the construction industry, just like we intend to. So, Kevin, with that said, man, we're going to wrap this one up for episode 1. I appreciate you jumping on here, brother. Appreciate your time. Always appreciate your insight. And for those of you listening, we will see you next week on Top Contractor School, the podcast. Looking forward to it, guys.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.